Hello everybody, for those of you who don't know me, I am Justino, and I'm going to give you a little backstage tour here on the Norwegian Dawn. You can see actually docked next to us today. We're in Cozumel, Mexico. We're next to the Norwegian Star, and I'm going to give you a little tour of our backstage area for those of you who don't get to see a backstage tour, so follow me. Now I'm filming this on my iPhone 5, so it's not the steady cam you're probably used to watching, but I apologize for the shakiness, but we're entering the front of the ship right now. Here's the show tonight. I don't know who that movie guy is, but should go see the show. I don't know, let's see what it's like. Now we're going to enter our way into the Stardust Theater. This is on deck 7, by the way. Your main entrance is on deck 6. We're about quarter way set up for tonight's show, and you can see there's a video projection running, which is just a random projection from a shore excursion they had this morning. This is the beautiful Stardust Theater, and you can see not very many seats full at the moment. It's because it's very early in the morning, and everybody just left to go on shore excursions in Cozumel, like snorkeling and all that kind of fun stuff. Anyway, we'll take you backstage and show you what there is to see. Okay, this is a crew entrance only, so taking you literally behind the scenes here. I'm going to go, as you can see, not as glamorous as at the passenger areas of the ship. You actually feel like you're on a ship back here. All right, we're in the backstage, actually on the stage right now. You can see we're facing the audience over there. And give you a little tour. Not a lot of room back here, as you can see. That's our patch bay for our sound stuff. And yeah, to get a lot of that equipment you see, there's not much room at all. And of course, every night the equipment changes. This is our genie lift that gets the crew up into the ceiling to change the fixtures and the sets and the lights every single night. Keep in mind, every single day there's a new show in this theater. So it's not just the, oh, install the show once and that's it. Every night they're tearing down a show, putting a brand new show up. It's a lot of work for this crew, a lot. That's the set for my comedy magic show here tonight. Later there'll be all custom video projections on those sails, and I'll have all props up here on stage. This is probably my favorite part of the ship, of the theater anyway. This is our automation controller down below. We've got a video screen up here that shows what's happening on stage. We actually have all the mechanics for the winches over here. Now this is all manually done, but if we go to the automation booth upstairs here in a minute, you'll see how that's controlled completely. Now if I pull this joystick closed, you'll see the main curtain starts to close. No more pulling ropes and pulleys like the old days. Yeah, it's all done very, very differently. Reopen that back up. Now the best part about this is it's fully programmable. So upstairs they'll program 40 and 50 different cues just for one show. And all they do is say go, and sometimes the ceilings will move, the floors will come up out of the floor, the curtains will close all at the same time with only one guy doing it, compared to having 6 or 7 different guys pulling ropes and pulleys and all that crazy stuff. So yeah, I'll give you some more of a tour here in a second. Let's take a tour backstage here. This is the quick change room. Once again, a very small room. You'll see some feathers, and I don't wear those feathers. Well, not in public anyway. This is the quick change room for our fast changes that we do during the shows. Some of the aerialist rigging from the aerial adage shows. We also have our grand piano here, and then take you back to the scenic room, or the scenery store. This is where all the sets live for all the shows throughout the cruises. As once again, as you can see, not a lot of space. You'll see there's one of our illusions there, our fire spiker, our fire cage, a roll-a-bola table of my storage. That's all of our stuff over here in this corner, along with all the illusions that is up hanging in the ceilings and in the catwalks, and there's a lot more stuff besides in the scenery store. But you can see those are all the set pieces. Ow, that was my foot. Those are the set pieces that'll be built. Look how small of an area this is. These are 30-foot wide set pieces, and they all go in piece by piece. They do not roll up. They're not canvas. They're steel, aluminum, wood. It's a lot of work. And that's just Band on the Run. And you got Bollywood sets over here. And when this all goes together, it looks amazing. But yeah, they use about, I think, around 7 or 8 to even 15 crew, depending on what ship and what show you're doing. And they have to build it at night. So when you guys are sleeping on your cruise, remember that theater is working hard. I'm going to take you upstairs to the catwalk, or one of the catwalks anyway, and show you the automation booth. Now, this is where the real magic happens, because if you think the magic happens on stage, this is where you're wrong. Because getting all of the road cases that we come to the ship with, all of our props that we pack down, about 8,000 pounds of gear, those cases have to live somewhere. And about probably 3/4 of our cases live up in this catwalk. So, I'll show you kind of in the dark here. Most places on the theater are dark. We'll spin you around. Okay, we're upstairs right now. There's one of our machines. When you see it snow, yeah, not really magic. It's a machine that makes it snow. And that's the machine that makes it snow. That's the left machine. We have one on the right side as well. So now you're in the catwalk. You'll see a lot of the moving lights are up here. A lot of the fans for the haze and smoke. All these tracks are the tracks where the trusses and rigging get pulled up from. So you can see all these bars here. They'll just follow that beam, that little track right here. And there's big, huge winches up above that pull, I think it's about 20 to 40,000 pounds of gear up and down in a moment's notice like nothing. We'll push a button. Yeah, so some of our props over here. And then here's all our cases. There's our air compressors for our confetti launchers. You see that, and you got to keep in mind, we're about 25, 30 feet up in the air right now. So these heavy wood cases had to be lifted up and hoisted up here. And there's no doorways that let them fit. So what happens is you actually have to tie them onto winches and cables, and they have to take pulleys and pull them up by hand in some cases to get these cases up here. And, and then of course they have to be strapped down because the ship can rock in rough seas, and staff captain or the captain doesn't want anybody to get hurt. So everything has to be secured and tied down. And now here's my favorite part. Here's the automation booth. This is where the real magic happens. This computer right here, you can see multiple screens. That's the top of the stage, so we can see what's happening. It's actually night vision. That's the really cool part about this stuff. When the lights go out, the automation tech can actually still see exactly what's happening through night vision cameras. And so if a dancer or a singer or an acrobat is standing on top of one of the lifts, one of the elevators on stage, there's no way they can get hurt because he's not firing that button, even in a pitch black, because he can see him in night vision. It's a very, very cool system. And the system we have on board right now is called the Illusionist. Like that, the Illusionist. And basically these 6 buttons here will control everything. And then all the cues in the show are up on this screen right here. And it's basically just firing a set of cues. So you'll see these 3 boxes are in red, that's in blue, and that's in yellow. Well, this one right here will close the main curtain, and it says it's going to close it to this position, 6,553. This one right here is lifting a bar, number 12 bar. It's going to take it, actually taking it down. And to fire those cues, you just hit the button that matches the color on the screen. So red would close the main, blue would bring that bar down, and yellow would bring a lift down. And then of course you get a visual schematic drawing of the Stardust Theater, and it shows you what curtain is closed and what bars are moving and the cables and everything. So it's really an awesome system. And of course I spend about 3 days in here, usually at night between 10 a.m. and 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, depends on the scheduling in the theater, programming all the movements of the stage for Extreme Vegas. Now tonight's show is the Comedy Magic, so we only have like 4 automation cues. It's very, very simple. But Extreme Vegas is a bigger show with a lot more technical stuff, and it definitely means a lot more programming, especially the lighting booth. Actually, I'll take you there next. Come on. So if you're in the Stardust Theater, the stage is right over there on deck 7 right now. When you're walking out of the theater, this would be the exit. Next time you're walking out of a theater on Norwegian Cruise Lines, just take a look to your left, because you're going to see the control room. So we're going to spin you around right here. Once again, you get a crew-only door. Open that door, it takes you to another hallway, and this is what says the control room, which will be all the video graphics, the spotlight operators, the sound techs, and all the lighting is all done from this room right here. So there's 2 of our spotlights, and the operator will actually sit on this little bench right here comfortably and run the spotlights. There's our computer time code, which basically will sync up all of the lighting from these 2 lighting boards with the music. So they put time code markers into the soundboard which then makes sure that the lighting goes in exactly the right time. So actually, the days of having a lighting tech push a button for every single cue, although it still happens, is unnecessary. Extreme Vegas does not use a lighting tech to control the lighting. My own personal computer uses a software called QLab, which is a software that used on Broadway shows like War Horse, and I believe Spider-Man actually uses it as well, I think. Yeah, they actually control all the lighting, the sound, the video, all from my computer. And this is basically the same concept. Time code right there. Now, here's the cool part. This is the Maxis system, which controls all the lighting. And each one of these will program an individual light. And there is, I don't know how many lights we have on stage, way over probably 60 or 70 different moving lights. And each light can cost between $3,000 and $25,000 or $30,000 a piece. So that's a lot of money in lighting. If this board would fail, at the end of the day, it is a computer. It's probably PC based. If it would fail, there's actually a very simple board over here that's a backup system. And all they do is they hit a switch, and they can still fire the pre-programmed stuff in that board. Now, you can't program with this board. You would always need to have this one, but if it would fail during a live show, they can switch over here and run it live. And trust me, that's something I really wish I had for Extreme Vegas, because if my computer goes down, I'm in trouble. But I have a Mac, so I think we're okay. This is for the pyrotechnic system, which they do not use here on this ship at the moment, and I don't think they're using pyrotechnics in anywhere near future, but they still use it for confetti launchers and that kind of stuff. And of course, here's our soundboard. This is the soundboard. I don't know how many channels. I think there's way over 40 different channels that they use, and you can see it's all computerized. Those are the individual names for the Second City cast: Prescott, Andrew, Sean, Julie, and Amy. It was actually last year's cast. And those are the individual sequences for each one of their mics. So the days of having to mix a sound person, a performer's vocals to the highs, the mediums, the lows, the reverb, and then having to write it down, and then next week's show put all those settings back are long gone. You put the settings in, you save it, and then you just tell the computer right here that you want the Second City show. And you hit a button, it brings up the Second City show, and all those settings go exactly back. And what's really cool is, I wish I could do it now, but if you hit a button, all of these sliders will actually physically move. Not just in the computer, but they'll physically move to the settings they're supposed to be. It's a brilliant system. This is our video matrix system right here, so it's kind of hard to tell because I got a light on the camera. But this is the individual inputs. Right now they're all the same. But in a live show for Extreme Vegas, there'll be different outputs and inputs for video effects. And then that's all for our sound, and those are our patch cables. So if I were to pull these cables out right now, it would totally change what system goes where. You can see our patch board. Even in modern times, a patch board is always a horrible mess. It's like the old phone systems from many, many years ago. Yeah, very complicated stuff. That's why we have a sound tech that does this, because I don't know how to patch this stuff in. Once again, once you get live video feeds, and this is our video matrix here as well, so I can tell it, all these numbers tell what input, where to output it to, and basically like Extreme Vegas is recall number 5, and you hit take, and then that big video projector that you see projecting that movie screen out there will change and project only the Extreme Vegas shot. And then for the Comedy Magic show tonight, we'll go from a live video shot into a live camera. So video camera, video feed into a live camera back and forth using those switches. And then here's my Airport Extreme, which sends a wireless network in the theater called Extreme Vegas, and then we hook up remote control iPads to it, where I can actually override the audio and sound techs, audio and light tech, sorry, and control all of this system from my iPad. And it's great for rehearsals and for setups, where if I have to adjust the light or adjust the volume of a sound system or the delay before we do a video, I don't have to keep running from the stage to the booth and back. I can do it all from my iPad, which is a new thing for us. We didn't have that last year, which is probably why I was in better shape last year. Anyway, so I think that's about the end of the tour. I hope you enjoyed the tour of Backstage here at the Stardust Theater, and hope to see you here at Extreme Vegas for the Comedy Magic Show, and we'll be on the Norwegian Dawn until April 7th this year. So happy cruising. We'll see you around.